What's up? Joe here, Profit First Reseller. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been on vacation. We came in last night on the airplane and I'm here. It's about 12 o'clock. What is it? 12:04, right just after noon on the next day. And I got some orders to pack. I got 99 orders or something. I think maybe 98. Let me see. How many orders do I have here? 98 on eBay. And then I think I have one on Amazon. So 99 orders over the couple of weeks here. And kind of just turn on the camera and get back into the swing of things. I've got lots more videos I want to make. Got some exciting things coming up in eBay world relating to this government program that eBay asked me to be part of. I did end up getting accepted, and I'm going to Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be vlogging it here on the channel for you guys. So please do stick around for that. And yeah, I'm gonna get some orders packed. I'm gonna go over some recent comments. I don't have much more to say about the eBay government thing, except they already booked me a fancy hotel right next to the White House. And yeah, I'm going in a couple of weeks. We're gonna be talking about this, hopefully, or from what I understood, the main focus is gonna be the Shop Safe Act, which essentially is going to be increasing the power that companies have to abuse programs like the VERO program on eBay, where under the guise of maintaining authentication and brand, identity, like brand, basically a lot of fake items are sold. And this eBay rep did admit that. And I liked that about her. She was really honest. She's like, especially early on in eBay, there were a lot of fake items being sold. And so there does need to be a balance where these companies do need to be able to take down false items. But it's just so clear that these companies abuse that power and just take down items in order to decrease competition and to increase the resale price, or to just basically eliminate the resale market altogether, is I think what they'd prefer. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that in a couple of weeks, and I'm just gonna be vlogging as much as I can. I'll definitely ask permission, but I'm gonna be asking people for interviews if they want, and yeah, that'll be kind of fun. Just noticed this fan is on. I'm gonna turn this fan off real quick, so it's not too distracting here. We got plenty of airflow going on already. I'm gonna turn on this fan down here, just so I'm not sweating as I move over here. And yeah, thought we'd go over some comments. I got 98 orders to pack on eBay, and let's see. So basically, yeah, that's the update for the government stuff. The sourcing brunette said, hello from UK. Would you mind saying how many hours you work per week and how many days? Just trying to figure out if it's something I could do full time. Enjoying the videos. Well, thank you very much for commenting. And how many hours per week is really hard to say, and that's because I don't log it. And my buddy Ethan Lupo, at Ethan Lupo on YouTube, he's really good about logging that stuff. As he enters his workroom, he clocks in. And that's something that I might consider, just to be able to see. It'd be nice to get a handle on my hourly wage for sure. Somebody bought this old shipping tape. This old packing tape that I don't use anymore. This is 2-inch packing tape that I bought from American Bubble Boy, and I ended up buying a lot and then eventually just switched over to 3-inch tape and just never used 2-inch tape again, 2-inch wide tape. So I'm just selling it back on eBay. It's still new in the package, just that my go-to tape that American Bubble Boy sells. And so I got 2 of them here. I'm just gonna throw them in a box. How many hours per week? I would estimate 40 to 60 hours per week at the end of the day. It's a full-time job, plus a little bit. I definitely work a little bit in the evenings and nights as well, but I also take a lot of free time. I mean, I just took 2 weeks completely off for vacation, and I had taken a week off just before that for another vacation. So yeah, it's very flexible. And I think on average over the course of the year, probably averages out to basically about a 40-hour-a-week job is, I think, what I would estimate. But I would like to actually track that sometime. I think it'd be quite interesting. So, full-time, I mean, I think it's so individual. So the advice I would give to you, the sourcing brunette, reselling full-time is so individual because it depends on the stuff that you can find. It depends on the speed with which you work, how distractible you are, how focused you are while you're working really matters so much in this business. And so it really depends on you. And so at the end of the day, it's up to you. You have the numbers, right? And so essentially, if you've already been reselling 10 hours per week and you're considering going to 40, we'll just run the quick numbers of if that's essentially saying I'm going to 4x the amount of time I spend And you're gonna have to make sure that that's feasible. You might have to ask yourself, can I find feasibly 4 times as much inventory if I spend 4 times as much time looking for it, right? And then, you know, could I also scale up the other things about 4x? And I would try it at 5 hours and 10 hours, log yourself, or at least have a good estimate of how much time you're spending. And then you can kind of expand out and see for your situation, if you applied 40 hours per week, because it's also impossible to know what your living expenses are, like what it would actually be able to cover. I think those would be the main things of like trying to really nail down what am I making per hour in my eBay business, and then total in my life, what do I need to survive? What's the total cost I need to live? And then you can just kind of run the numbers from there. I think that provides a lot more peace, but I do not recommend full-time reselling to anyone. Let me be very clear about that. This is a very, very risky venture. The only way that I'm able to have some kind of a stability in this is just because I have just worked my face off for years to the point where we're just way ahead of our expenses. So I'm not worried when my sales drop by 50% in a month, which they have recently, because I've been on vacation, I've been struggling with some health stuff. I mean, compared to a few months ago, yeah, sales are down like 50%, but our savings have provided us a runway for a long time. And this is the kind of job, business, investment. I don't know, it's kind of a combination of all of those. It's a small business. It's kind of an investment in a way, because you don't make the money right away. You put all this investment of time and effort into your listings, and then you just kind of wait for them to sell. And that's when you make your money back on your investment. But yeah, and it is a job in some ways because there is repetitive work involved. So it's kind of all three. It's kind of a small business, an investment, and a job. And it's hard to manage. It's hard to manage full time. It's hard to manage the stress. I notice a lot of resellers get very reactive when sales drop. They start changing their business strategy. And I understand that a drop in sales is just, it's normal because my output is not 100% consistent. For one thing, I don't have a daily listing goal that I stick to exactly. So I expect sales to go up and down just from my own effort, and then also from just the shifts in the market. I think it's very, very normal. So it's stressful. It's really stressful. So let's see, is this the black one or a regular one? Yeah. Oh, this is the black one. I'm selling these Nintendo Wii stands. I haven't even talked about what I'm selling. These are just one of these replenishables. When I receive these, I just throw them in a bin. I'm just making sure they're fully dust free. Sometimes they sit in there for a while. This sold for $1.99 plus shipping, but it happens to be the black variant. So I have different variations for all the different color variants of this stand for the Wii console. So not a big dollar item, $1.99 plus shipping. I'll probably end up keeping, $3. The shipping charge is probably going to be a little bit over what I actually pay here. But I think with enough consistency, if I can kind of do the math on an item like this, right? Like I can get these items for so cheap. I can ship them so quickly that I think if I actually did just sit here and if I had an infinite number of them, I think it would be scalable. I think I could actually do 20 or 30 an hour, or 40 an hour, and that actually is a really amazing hourly rate. So sometimes you just got to do that quick in your head math, what I call the back of the napkin math. Does this kind of stuff scale? I'm asking myself that all the time. I've been trying to make this eBay business a full-time business for a long time. So there were a lot of things that I quickly realized wouldn't support that goal. For example, Facebook Marketplace meetups, right? Local selling. The back and forths and the wasting of my time as I'm sitting around waiting for somebody instead of being in here doing my work and either listing or packaging my stuff for eBay, trying to sell stuff locally, I quickly found was not something that I could scale up. I mean, if I'm only making $20 or $40 in a Facebook Marketplace transaction, how many of those do I need to do in order to pay my bills? If I was going to actually do that full time, so I'm kind of asking myself along the way, each of these tasks is adding up to my full-time job, but I need to make sure that each of them are actually paying for themselves. And if they're not, I need to reevaluate it, right? And so selling on Facebook Marketplace would require me to do like 20 to 30 meetups a day to actually reach that $1,000 a day goal of sales that I have, right? I can't possibly fathom doing 20 Facebook meetups in a day. It just seems completely unfeasible. So that's where I quickly realized that that is not the kind of time investment that I want to put into. Even if I got good at that, even if I got it down to like only needing to do 15, or even if I got really fast at meeting 20 a day. Uh-oh. I'm hearing some drama outside. I'm gonna go check in. I heard some punching. I think everybody's okay. Also, my screen recording stopped, so I'm just gonna pause this real quick. Okay, I'm back. Everybody's good. Punching between brothers. I should have clarified. They're very small. I just wanted to make sure everybody was good back there. We're all good. They were all smiling when I walked out there. Anyway, I was able to start recording on my phone again here. And yeah, thank you, the Sourcing Brunette 2597 for your question, and kind of did give me on a good thought train of like what full-time reselling looks like and who should consider it. And again, I think very few people should consider full-time reselling. So, yeah, the next one. Love your content, Joe, but the amount of ads you have in your videos are starting to make them unwatchable. By halfway of this video, there have been 5 pauses for ads. I watch your stuff while I'm working, but I have to go back to my phone to skip every time. You may just be accepting the default number of ads they place in the video, but you can edit that to not show as many. I hope you see this. Thanks for all the great content. Yeah, thank you so much. Let me see. Okay, well, okay. Okay. So Jonathan Oldages, 5606. Yeah, okay. So I have a few thoughts here. Like, the ads in this video are the only income stream that I get from these videos. Well, okay, I take that back. They're like 90%. I have Amazon affiliate links that maybe make a few dollars a month, and then eBay affiliate as well. It's also a few dollars a month. But the YouTube revenue is the only real income stream I get from this channel. And I do put a ton of time into it, to the point where it would almost make more sense, or it would definitely make more sense money-wise, to just put all the time that I do put into my YouTube into eBay. But I am hoping that my YouTube channel will grow, and I do enjoy the other benefits of the YouTube channel as well, and the connection to the community. So I think I'm going to keep doing it for other reasons as well. But the money is a big reason why I'm doing this YouTube channel. And I would just say, okay, so that video that you're referring to was like an hour and 17 minutes or something long. Hour and 17 minutes. And so, yeah, there were an ad like every 10 or 15 minutes is what it seems like, which seems completely reasonable to me. When you're halfway through the video, which would be like 80 minutes, so 40 minutes. Okay, so a little less than 10 minutes per ad. I don't know, whatever it is. I do have all that on default because I am not an expert in that stuff. And I also don't want to like reduce my only income stream. I'm not trying to pump up more ads. I don't trust myself to do that. Essentially, I'm not an expert in marketing. I let eBay place the ads where they think viewers might not mind them. I assume that our incentives are aligned, me and YouTube, in that sense of like, we do want to put ads in there to make money, both me and YouTube, but also we don't want to put so many ads that we turn off the consumer. And so I think that I think pausing it, that is your own vote in a way of like, I don't want to be watching this kind of content. And I think that might affect your own YouTube experience. And then I would also encourage you, like, I don't know, instead of going on to your content creators' channels and asking them to directly make less money on their content, maybe just consider YouTube Premium, which allows you to just pay a few dollars a month. If you are using this for business, you could probably justify YouTube as a business expense if you're doing it while you work, and justify the few dollars a month to save the time of having to skip so many ads. I mean, and that also continues to pay the content creators that you're benefiting from, rather than going and individually asking all of them to reduce the number of ads. So yeah, I probably will just continue to leave the ads on default and just trust YouTube to that, because I do want to make money on this channel. So I'm not trying to cut that out. I do need to get some more boxes for this. I've literally been back home for like 12 hours here in Dallas, and I am not fully stocked up. So let me pause this video again and I'll be right back. All right, we're back here. Anyway, thank you, Jonathan, for the feedback. And I hope that makes sense why I probably won't be reducing the ads, because I am trying to make money on this thing. That's like my main income stream for this YouTube channel. Anyway, what happened to Tech? Yeah, I don't know. Tech hasn't posted in a few weeks. I don't know. I should check up on him. I think he's still active in the group. I just think maybe he's taking a break from social media, which I get. And, let's see. Oh, hey, Antis just said, haha, did you just call yourself a small business? I mean, I think I'm a small business. What am I? If I'm not a small business, what am I? Am I an employee of eBay? Am I a corporate shill? I don't think so. I do get my money from eBay, but I see myself as an independent reseller, and I would just take my inventory somewhere else if eBay wasn't living up to their end of the deal. So, I don't know. So I had so much fun doing an interview with Taylor Joe Flips on this channel. Her YouTube channel is just awesome. So worth checking out. And Mr. Exquisite, longtime commenter, shout out, said, ADD gang. Yes, represent all of us, a neuroatypical, whatever you want to call it, can unite here and try not to get too distracted as we get our work done. Try to harness that hyper focus instead, huh? Paul and Britt, yes, this is amazing. I can't believe this. Paul and Britt said, this is a longtime follower of our channel. They're also a reseller. Said, I started Whatnot 3 weeks ago, and I've got over 4,600 followers in that time and sold over 55,000 so far. What? I have 0 social media. That's incredible. I mean, if I'm reading this right, 21 days, 55,000, that's like 2.5K per day in sales? What? Are we just cleaning out death piles here? Or do you have access to that kind of inventory? I have questions. I want to see what you're up to. That is awesome, man. That is super awesome. 1,500 a day, at least. Or no, 2,500 a day, huh? Man. Let's see. Day in the life. This is the video that this is my most viral video on the channel so far. I'll do another one of them soon. But let's see. LGN Rome said, don't get too comfortable selling with eBay. You will eventually get suspended for things out of your control. People need to understand is that eBay is not a great home business. It's not really yours. If eBay wants to stop your business, you're done. My best advice is to have many eBay accounts, many Etsy, Posh, and more. I do understand that. I think a lot of people agree with you in that they are trying to maintain multiple stores at once, making sure that if one of them shut down for even a moment, that they would continue to have a steady income stream. I just see this differently. I'm not trying to create a steady income stream. I'm trying to get that money while the getting's good, right? Right now, eBay's great. And I can take my inventory somewhere else tomorrow and just start listing it somewhere else, start cross-posting or importing it from eBay somewhere else. Also, if I need to, I can start thinking about that. I own the inventory no matter what. It's in my garage. So if I need to just relist it from scratch, I can. But eBay doesn't own me any more than they just own all that effort that I put into those investments of my listings. And they can shut that down. And I have to recreate that effort again. But I still own this stuff. And I don't see, well, I do. I think if you're living paycheck to paycheck, it makes sense. I think you'd be worried because you'd be worried about next month and the next month. But we're not worried about next month. We have savings. We've been working our butts off to put money into savings, to make more than we spend, to spend less while we continue to work more so that we are able to ride these waves. And I can continue to just watch my numbers, and as long as eBay is good, I'm going to stay on eBay. And I really do think that my time is best utilized just staying focused and not spreading it out among all these different sales platforms, multiple shipping options, all this, different customer service. We're streamlined. One customer service page, one line of messages, one store to put on vacation mode when we go on vacation. We're streamlined over here. And I think, honestly, it allows us to make more money. But yes, it is more variable. If eBay's servers go down for a day, our sales drop. If something is weird with eBay, our sales do drop. But that's okay. We have money in the bank. And we can just reevaluate at that time. But right now, we are getting while the getting is good. And that's my strategy. I trust myself to keep working for a long time. And so if eBay does go down and I need to go find another job, I trust myself that I will. And at this point, I trust that we have enough savings that I'm going to have plenty of time to find the next opportunity. So I understand that eBay's a business and no business lasts forever, right? I don't expect that. But I'm making money and putting it away. eBay is not my retirement plan. My retirement plan is my retirement plan. I can make that money and put it away. eBay can't touch that. If eBay's CEO says something incredibly offensive and eBay's stock drops and nobody wants to shop on eBay anymore and I need to switch to a different platform, I can do that. And I still have all the money that I made that I didn't spend. You just gotta not spend it, right? Just stay lean. I think, though, at least for us, I'm not trying to tell you or anyone else what to do, but that's why I'm not worried about it. Like, I think when you have savings, when you put enough effort into a system that works, when you stop trying to tinker and add more businesses onto your business, like we've done, I've just stayed focused. I've kept my head down. I've just done the same thing for years. Buy items, list items, ship items on eBay. That's it. Just over and over again. Find better items, sure. Little refinements, get better, get a better tape gun, 3-inch tape, better, great. Faster computer, helps a little bit. Mouse with all these extra buttons, helps a little bit. All towards the same goal. Over and over again, list items, sell items. You do not need to be creating 20 different businesses right now. The money is the same. The money's green no matter what. As long as we're making that money, just focus, just do that. If you found something that works, that would be my advice in general, in life. Make that money and just keep your expenses low and save as much as you can. That's our whole financial strategy. And that's why I don't have multiple stores. That's why I don't cross-post. eBay has the most customers for me. And yeah, it seems scary. It can seem risky. And it is more risky. My sales are more up and down than if I was just cross-posting to more platforms. That would be more potential customers. And I think overall it would be more steady sales. But I don't want steady, I want more now. Honestly, that is my whole strategy. That's why I don't draft my listings. I just post them right now. You can't sell them if you don't list them. And there might be a customer in the next 5 minutes that's searching for my item. I want to get it up now. And by not having a draft bank and if I had a draft bank and I was able to space out my listings where it was like 30 per day, my sales would be more consistent because my listings would be more consistent, right? But I don't think there would be more sales because I would have delayed listing more items. In my strategy, I list every item as soon as it's available. So I'm maximizing the time that my items are exposed to the algorithm, are exposed to the potential buyers. So, yeah, I hope that clarifies things. Oh, this person actually bought 2 things, so I'm gonna set this aside. This is a Bowser Special Edition Wiimote, and this person also bought 4 steel nails. I'm gonna set that aside for now, and I'll get to that as we go. This is probably a 5-year-old item. I've stopped buying Starbucks mugs a long time ago. This is a plastic tumbler with no lid, eventually sold. Let's see how much this thing sold for here. Let's see, no lid, plastic, 2012, $8.99 plus shipping. Not bad, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in one of these boxes here. Let me see. So yeah, I'm definitely not comfortable. I mean, like, thank you so much. I feel like LG and Rome, I feel like I can see the heart of your message and you're just looking out for me and I appreciate you. Like all these comments, even the other guy talking about reducing my ads, I think they just wanted to make sure that they continue to like watching my content, which I appreciate. I'm just trying to also share my honest opinions here as much as I can. And I hope that clarifies why we don't diversify in that way. We're not diversified with multiple accounts, multiple stores. I mean, if I need to find a different avenue, I will, but I don't because we're making money right now. Like, we're making way more than we spend. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I want to just keep doubling down on what works. I think that though I do struggle with ADD, I can see so many people in my life, Mr. Exquisite, and I'm not calling you out, but you just mentioned the ADD gang. And while I do sometimes put myself under that umbrella, I'm very much on the edge of that spectrum. I think that I do have a lot of ability to just stay focused and to do what looks really boring for hours on end. And maybe I've learned tricks. I'm listening to a podcast and I'm stretching. So I'm kind of keeping the ADD part of my brain a little bit entertained in some ways. But I think I've also just trained it. I've trained that squirrel brain in a lot of ways. And I don't struggle with ADD to the extent that many people, even in my life, do. And so I just want to be really clear about that, because I think that in a way is an ADD tendency, is to just always be looking for the next thing, constantly be thinking the grass must be greener somewhere else. But really, that might just be seeking to justify this desire, this extremely strong desire to just seek novelty, which sometimes can be good. But I think for a business, I'm not looking for novelty. I'm going to seek novelty elsewhere, on my hikes, and on my bike rides, and my relationships, and the people around me. With my business, I'm searching for stability while recognizing that it is not necessarily a very stable business. But I'm going to do what works. I'm not going to be, I don't know, bounced around by the daily sales changes or worries about eBay. Or I do the same thing. I've been doing the same thing for years. I think, at least for us, it's been working. And so I'm gonna stick to it. Man, we love this job. I feel so grateful that we have this opportunity to have a job where we can go on vacation for weeks, you know? All right, my stomach's growling. I'm gonna do another comment, then I'll grab a snack, and then we'll continue on here. But I gotta go address these comments here. So Dryden Flip said, always stoked when I see a new video from you. So many great insights. I've got ADHD too, and it really can feel like both a blessing and a curse. Hearing your perspective, and that's Taylor Jo Flip's perspective, she's just so smart about that stuff. On burnout hit me hard. I think I've been stuck in long-term burnout at my day job. I feel pretty checked out, but the stability keeps me from leaving. Like you said, having a strong community matters so much, though I also struggle with asking for help. Thanks for sharing your experience and inspiration. It means a lot. Thank you so much, Dryden Flips. Yeah, long time commenter. I appreciate you and what you're doing here. And yeah, has such a good perspective on that stuff. And yeah, man. Yeah, she's great. I don't know what else I can say. Like, Taylor Jo's great. Check out her stuff on burnout. I agree. And I'm trying to avoid burnout here as well. I was even feeling it last night coming back home and seeing I've got 98 orders to pack and I'm tired. And this morning I woke up refreshed and I just decided to get back at it. But I didn't force myself to. I gave myself permission to just take today off if I needed to. But I'm ready to get back to it. I think that's part of it. You know, I do work hard from the outside, but I internally, I'm not pushing myself too hard. I think you got to take breaks where you can. So Joe's like a smitten teenage girl. I mean, I had fun talking to Taylor Jo Flips, but like that's like borderline inappropriate. Like, I'm very married. She's married. Like, no, we were just having a Zoom conversation. I was excited to talk to her, but it was nothing like that. It's funny too, because I just ordered more pepperoni. But another guy, I know you're looking out for me, man. Gremlins SZ says, brother, every day, that is too much pepperoni to be consuming every day. So I said my favorite breakfast is eggs with some fried pepperoni on top and some kimchi. And apparently some people think that's too much pepperoni. I what can I say? I like pepperoni. I am a big fan, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll see you in 20 years, I hope, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, is pirate ship cheaper than eBay shipping? Not usually. Usually it's exactly the same. Better Lister sucks. I mean, no, it's as good as the AI. It's as good as the AI is, and I think it's actually a good platform. You're so inspiring. I've just binge watched loads of your videos. Thank you, pal. Oh, thank you, Bonnie Reselling. That's so nice. Another one, Kuglius Caesar 6292. Just caught you on Text podcast. Looking forward to binging your content. Thank you so much. That's so cool. Well, unfortunately, there's not a lot of content recently, but stay tuned. Stick tuned. Stick around. There's gonna be lots more content coming for sure. Content. Be More Saxy said, finally switched over to the out of stock feature for my store. Yes, highly recommended. If you do have a space in your store subscription for the extra items that will rack up and accumulate, as there are these zero quantity items in your store that don't go away. If you have the room, I highly recommend it. It allows you to just re-up the inventory and save time, and also maintain that buyer history. And I think in a lot of ways that search strength and the eBay algorithm. Yeah, it's made a world of difference. My sales are really gaining momentum on those games I sell over and over. Thanks, man. Yeah, so cool. Thanks, Be More Sexy. I am so far behind on responding to these comments actually on YouTube, but at least I'm doing it in video now. And let's see, Rex Manning said, in college, Econ 101, I love the unit about sunk cost fallacies. Yes, this is on my video where I did talk about the sunk cost fallacy, how it's affected my eBay business. Said, it really made me look at things differently. Great subject to chat about. Also, as soon as the video began, I was hoping you were on high alert regarding snakes. Yes, we are in snake country out here. Haha, in Wisconsin, we don't have to worry about snakes as much, but you never know. Yeah, we are in it right now. We are like in the woods. There's copperheads everywhere. Let's see. Playroom 44 said, a large, well-stocked death, in quotes, or in parentheses, money pile, makes me a more selective shopper / better thrifter. Yeah, I do. I mean, I have a lot of inventory that's not listed right now. I've just had a lot of good buying opportunities, but I definitely don't believe in death piles, and I don't believe in pulling out the best stuff and then letting the worst stuff accumulate and become worse and worse and worse as you continue to only pull out the fun stuff. I think maybe you can consider a first in, last out system where you're always grabbing the oldest item. Or like I do, right now I'm just optimizing for space and volume. So I'm listing my biggest items first, and I'm continuing to get smaller and smaller items, but I like listing smalls. And in a way, I'm kind of saving the fun stuff for later. I'm just kind of eating my vegetables now. And so my process for getting through my death / money pile is to just go after the biggest stuff first to optimize for space. So Renee F3222 said, buyer left negative feedback. Item and photos is not the same item. Mine didn't have a box, reported them, and got denied. What do I do now? Well, that is unfortunate, but I think often the solution to this kind of thing is just hang up, call again. Just continue calling eBay support until you find somebody who's able to help you out. And you can't call them directly. Usually what you need to do is go into the online support tool and then continue clicking through until you eventually can choose an option where eBay will call you usually it's in like 2 minutes or something. You get a call pretty quick in my experience. So thank you, Renee. Sorry about that. And that's what I would do. I just continue to call. Usually eBay's really good about that stuff. Logic ZLLC, one of my favorite commenters, very funny, said, it's official. This is video evidence proof that Joe can indeed see the forest through the trees. Wow. Thank you. I don't know if I've ever been given a higher compliment. Maybe I have, but I was trying to zoom out at the big picture while also literally walking through a forest. So that is very funny. And I'm trying to add something. I have nothing to add. You're way funnier than me. Thank you, Logic. Panda Life LP8KN said, value doesn't care about your feelings. The market is the market, and whatever someone is willing to give you for your product is the real value. You owe it to your shareholders or family to treat your business like a business. How many garage sales or storage units are some poor soul's opportunity pile that has the smell of death on it? Sell-through rate versus what brings you joy. FOMO, chasing the dragon, or that first lick. Yeah, it really, so many people, I think they are just fighting that ADD brain of wanting to go seek out new things. You already bought the stuff that's sitting around in your pile and you want something new. You already got the dopamine out of that one. But I would ask you to consider that there is more dopamine to be mined, right? If you consider aligning yourself with how your listing process is what actually makes you money. If you're listing and you're imagining all the things you're going to be doing with that money, I think that could actually help you get more dopamine out of the activities that actually should be rewarded, right? I think that in a way, by feeding our squirrel brain, by giving it that novelty that it seeks, we are reinforcing behavior. Right? Dopamine is a behavior reinforcer. Nicotine affects your dopamine quite a bit, and nicotine can enforce and reinforce learning and habits in people and in rats. It's very clear that dopamine causes you to want to do that thing again. It gives you more dopamine. And if you're getting your dopamine all and seeking it and buying, but you're trying to make this a business, I think that's going to be to your detriment. I think we need to align. If you are going to be a small business owner, you need to align yourself with what is going to be best for the business. And otherwise, there's going to be dissonance there. You're going to be fighting your instincts and your desires, right? I am at the point where I really get that dopamine out of listing. I'm imagining the money that I'm going to make. I'm looking at the totals of all the listed value, the stuff that I'm getting. That's where I'm getting my dopamine. When I'm buying things, I think I'm so focused on the bottom line at this point that I'm seeing my money's going down. I'm actually spending money. What I'm collecting is money, not stuff. And so I'm happy on the back end when I'm selling this stuff and getting rid of it and just able to put money in the bank that takes up no more space in my house. That's my favorite thing. As I said before, I'm an aspiring but failed minimalist, but I don't love having things, especially not things that I don't want. And all the stuff down there in my garage, all that inventory, I don't want it. I want the money. What I want is the value. I don't want the stuff. I think that's important to remember. So yeah. Anyway, coming on a good rant over here. Thank you, Panda Life. DJ Clip said, really enjoy these videos. Great topic with this one, Joe. Something we all need to keep in mind with our businesses. Thank you so much. Thankful for the Gig said, good insight to managing inventory. I feel the same way. If it's taking up space too long, it's time to get it moving. Most retailers behave this way also. If it's moving, the markdown process to sell the item above cost begins. If not, they take a lot. Makes room for products to move. Yeah, I agree. Even if you have to sell it at a loss, it's just, I think, if the item hasn't sold in your expected time, I think you gotta get rid of it. This is fun. This was a purely AI created listing. I think I did this on camera in a previous video. This is a lot of 50 plus PS1 and PS2 memory cards, sold for $40 plus shipping. And I've just been collecting these for so long, and I didn't want to look up the model numbers. And so I went through, I asked the AI if any of them were worth selling on their own. It said essentially no, and so I was able to sell them in bulk and get them out of here. Potato Snacker, also in the running for one of my funniest commenters, he's hilarious, said, falling asleep to Ghibli movies is one of my favorite pastimes. I wasn't aware it was so dangerous, so thank you for the heads up. So yeah, I hurt my back a few weeks ago falling asleep to Kiki's Delivery Service. So that is hilarious. No, they are the best movies to fall asleep to. I was sleeping so hard that I injured myself, so I don't know if that's a warning or a recommendation. But thank you, Potato Snacker, as always, for the comment. You've left so many comments on this channel. Oh, only 8? They're all awesome. Man, you're so funny. Thank you, man. I gotta put a heart now. I'll come back and reply to all these comments. But I got a letter. Oh, yeah, that's from the eBay's government team. Yeah, so I am on that government team now. I would present to the government to create policy to make it illegal for states to implement a no-buy, no-sell bylaws, making it a crime, which basically affects resellers. People have garage and estate sales, and people who do bartering, that to me is a violation of your constitutional right to sell anything you own and buy stuff you need from somebody, and that would be a good policy to leave. Resellers alone, as we help with the environment, reducing items that would otherwise end up in the landfill, and encouraging communities to upcycle and reselling and reducing fast fashion, buying and throwing in the garbage, and creating PSA and reducing landfill waste. I agree. I think a lot of those are awesome points. Thank you so much. I think that I do really believe in the environmental aspect of what we do here. I think that it is almost impossible to imagine that it'd be better for the environment to be buying new things rather than to be focusing on what we do here as resellers on eBay, especially, where we focus on reselling used items that have already been manufactured, they've already been imported if they need to be imported. And now we can just get a second, third, fourth life out of these items. I think that's pretty phenomenal. So yeah, thank you. Those are some great points there. This is I popped these PlayStations with the caddy, and I include a little screw, the blue screw, to secure it. This is from a PS3. And I sell these on their own. This sold for $19.99 plus shipping. And I realize I'm just like randomly shipping items. No one has any idea what I'm shipping, but my store is posted in the description. If you're curious about the stuff that I buy, or at least the stuff that I sell on my store, it's all public. I got my whole eBay store listed up there. So in any case, this one sold for $19.99. It is a 40 gig hard drive. Another Where's Tech and Sports. Everybody's looking for tech. Yeah, he's just not on YouTube. I think sometimes you gotta take a break. The Book Bloke says, I think cutting people out of your life who had no value or actively have a negative impact is far more important. The thing about items on eBay is that in almost all cases, they will sell eventually. And is it costing you that much to hold on to it? I mean, those are all extremely valid points. I was talking in that video, I think from a little bit of a privileged perspective of like, how I value loyalty for people, but for my items, I'm less loyal, and I treat it more like a business. And in a way, I believe that, but I'm also just incredibly lucky to have like very supportive and awesome people around me who I don't feel like I need to be cutting out necessarily. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're in a situation like that, that could be the number one thing holding you back in your life and your business. So yeah, great perspective. Thank you. That is so true. And a good question at the end, like how much is it actually costing you to hold on to it? Well, I think that's a really valid question. And that's the reason that the items like that Starbucks tumbler, I still had that from 5 years ago, even though all the big items that would be this big or larger, if they haven't sold by now, I've delisted them or reduced the price or something, because that's just too much space to be taken up in the garage. But a small little tumbler that can be tucked away in a corner, not a big deal. And I still made my money out of it, and I'm glad that I did. I'm glad I kept it. So now I got the money. That's what I wanted all along from that item. So thank you. The Silver Hair Stacker 8664 says, this talk stares deep into the fallacies I have in my stock, but mine are more from buying projects. For instance, I have a deep affinity for Coleman lanterns. They bring memories of great times in the outdoors, and they all will sell. However, they all need cleaning, testing, and sometimes repair, so they can sit for months, as I list other items I have that are easier to work with, so they take up valuable space. Yeah, that can be a problem, especially if those are large things that are taking up space. So something that I do that helps is I really try to picture the entire process of selling an item, even imagining the buyer for that item before I buy the item. So I want to really think through how much cleaning is required. If I had to do this item tomorrow, would I be stoked? Or would I be not looking forward to it? And if I'm not going to be looking forward to cleaning and testing this item tomorrow, what makes you think you're going to be looking forward to it in a few weeks when you're going to be maybe even more tired or something? I don't assume things are going to get easier in the future. My general assumption is that things will get harder over time. So we should try to get it now while you can, right? So yeah, I think, yeah, definitely something to be aware of. Maybe what I would do in that situation, if you love the lanterns and you love buying them, maybe it's just a matter of fixing up the selling end. Maybe even though you know a lot about these lanterns and you could be cleaning and testing them, maybe don't. Maybe just use your knowledge to describe all the flaws and the dirtiness and turn that item that might take you an hour or two to list into just a 5-minute project, where all you're having to do is just describe the imperfections instead of having to set this high standard for yourself that you need to be making each of these lanterns perfect before you can get them on the eBay store. Even though that might be in your specialty and so you know you're capable of it, you also might need to recognize that you are a business owner and that kind of activity is just not a profitable per hour. Here we got another little hard drive, 40 gig hard drive here. Again, this one sold for $16.99, not bad. Let's see, My True Serenity 566 said, there comes a point where it may be wise to cut losses. I think many of us struggle with moving on and realizing that moving on can be a positive move. Yeah, I agree. I think it's hard for all of us to move on in a lot of ways. I get it. Alien Voltus said, when I sink X amount of time cleaning an item, I remind myself that I've placed other items up worth more and have had to do less work. I've also made the mistake of cleaning something up for over half an hour and then comp it to find it wasn't worth my time at all. I've done that. I don't know about half an hour, but I've definitely cleaned an item and then realized I shouldn't even be listing it at all. And that is a bummer. That's a bummer. Got to learn from our mistakes. Exactly. Love that attitude. I've been doing this a little over 2 months now and started because of your videos. That is so amazing, Alien Volta. Thank you so much. I've pulled in around 4K, amazing, as an everything seller so far, and it's been going great as a side hustle for my full-time job. I keep running through my head what it would look like if I could give that time at my real job into this instead. Going to go strong for a year and see what decision would look like then. Keep up the positive vibes, Joe. Thank you so much, man. That's so cool. Really enjoy your videos and just hearing your thoughts and learning what I can from it. Thanks so much, man. Cheers. Yeah, awesome. Wow. So cool. What a cool comment. That fires me up so much. Wow. Thank you so much. Just knowing that, yeah, this is something that kind of inspired you to start your journey. And I think I'm going to end it on that. I got to type in some stuff for a customs declaration form, and I don't want to do that and talk on the camera at the same time. I think I'll take a little break here, but I'll be back with way more content. Like I said, I'm going to be going to DC in a couple of weeks. I'll be vlogging the whole thing here on YouTube. I don't know, do people say vlog anymore? I say vlog anymore, so I guess they do. I'll be doing more comments soon, and just thank you for all the support. I've been loving making this YouTube channel, making these videos. I would be making way more in the future. Until next time, see you in the comments. Peace.